I don't think Vanillix is a bad Pokemon. I'm actually
Don't
kind
know
of
if he is
excited.
or not,
I just
to
have
be
to like
honest.
play with its stats a bit, you know. I think
Nah, that's
any
fine.
Pokemon that gets freeze dry is and has
Worth a
snow
shot.
warning is cool.
Yeah. Any kind of weather setup is always like that will keep you.
Dude,
in
I want to
conversations.
play. I don't know if I'll do it this season. Next season, I'm trying to do Torkoal body press. I'm trying to do a Trick Room Torkoal body press situation. That just seems so fucking fun.
It's to the weather real quick before we start talking about anime and manga. This is the start of the episode, you guys. I appreciate the info. It's why it's still why I think Raihan is one of the coolest gym leaders ever. That they committed to a weather team and they made him the final gym leader. So they actually had to commit to having like a real team. And
Well,
he was
also,
he was a double battle weather team.
He's a double battle weather team designed around sand, if I remember right? Which
Yeah, 'cause-
boosts steel type defenses.
Like it was so
during
fucking cool.
Sandstorm. Also it G maxes, so it's
Yes.
way stronger.
Duraludon's a monster.
And then they gave it. It's so funny too, because Archaludon is a rain staple. He is so strong on a rain team,
He just also
and like he's really strong on a rain team. And if you're playing sand, you're just giving him a boost. So it's like sand is like, I don't know how to play with this right now.
Look, man. With that being said, this is another episode of A&M Podcast. I'm joined as always. My brother Matt is in the building. How we feeling today?
Hot.
This is true.
I've been told my house is hot. I wouldn't know.
Before we get in, because we do have some good news from Matt too. We have an officially confirmed theory that is probably, I think, I was trying to go back and go through episodes. I don't know if I caught the very first time that you predicted the movie.
Ain't nobody have this kind of time to
That's
go back through our
so-
episodes.
So I don't know if I caught the first, but I know it's at least been a year since you have been on the God Valley should be a movie, so we are going to get into that. I do want to say real quick and make sure I don't mess up any names here because I definitely.
That's a big confirmation, Justin. Confirmed.
It's huge.
God Valley is going to be a movie.
Especially, we'll get into that for a second. Rest in peace to Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
Obviously, the voice of Optimus Prime, which is his most iconic voice. And something else that I realized, he is, for a voice like his, which is already unique, and to be a character like Optimus Prime, which is as iconic as it is, he also has several other major roles. Like, he is the Toonami promos, which are, for nerd culture, outside nerd culture, like, those are legendary promos that were on mainstream TV. Like, those were played to be like, hey, we want your child to come over here and watch this, please. And those hit just as well. Like, it's hard sometimes when you hear someone's voice and it's like, oh, you can't be anybody else because you are so locked in with this one character, like, especially for voice actors. Like, you know, like Sean Schemmel struggles with this, I know a little bit, is like Sean Schemmel is the English voice actor for Goku. And it's like, all right, dog, good luck. Like, you're paid forever because you're Goku, but, like, good luck getting this voice off on another character. Peter has several, like, really big roles. He was Eeyore. Like,
I'm just realizing, yeah, he was Eeyore.
like the range of being Eeyore and Optimus Prime is
Huh. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So, oh my gosh. Also, shout out to all y'all that are yelling at me right now on the internet with this is the part I'm never good at, and so if I say this wrong, Matt will let me know to edit it out later or not. I love conversations. I do not give a fuck if your only response is you're dumb and stupid. I just don't, like, yell at me, fine. But if you want to have an actual conversation, cool, we'll go back and forth a couple points. I don't have the time to go back and forth for very long, but I will usually try to reply to, like, the first couple comments. If all you got is you're dumb and stupid, it's like, all right, bro, good. Enjoy your day. I'm glad that you took the time to type that. Appreciate you. Thanks for the view, and keep it moving. I'm getting yelled at on two fronts. Tony's getting yelled at too. So all y'all just racist.
What did you guys say?
So Tony's getting killed because he said the Chiefs suck and went on a little minute rant about that. And then I'm getting killed because I said Josh Allen is a fake playoff merchant, because for all of my anime fans that also listen to sports, of course, like, Josh Allen does great on Wild Card Weekend, does not do so great in the second round. Now, because they changed how seeding works, is normally you would get a bye. As good as he's been in the regular season, you'd get a bye for the first round. But they took away the bye for every team but the number one overall seed. So now he's playing in the divisional round. So he's playing literally lesser competition than any other quarterback that's been this good has ever played, because they've all just skipped the round. They used to kill Peyton Manning for this. He'd be great in the regular season, he'd get a bye, and then his first playoff game, he'd stink it up, he'd lose. And I'm like, well, if Josh Allen, if you took away his stats from week 1 of the playoffs because he had, quote unquote, a bye, and then you just watch what he did in the remainder of the playoffs, it don't look that great. And everyone is calling me. I had 2 comments that I was called. TikTok removed them. So
did you still get to see them?
I got to see him for like the first couple seconds, but then TikTok takes it. You have to literally like
That's
see
so
it almost
funny.
immediately, and then TikTok says this violates our guidelines, and I'm like, okay.
God.
so that's going on.
It's so bad they translated it into Arabic and they just posted it on your.
I do wonder how they track that sometimes, and I'm like, what are people getting shit off because they just like go into Google Translate and be like, all right, TikTok, fuck with me now. Like,
I'm sure, man. I'm sure. That's so funny.
But rest in peace to Peter. Hell of a career, a hell of a life. Again, the range is crazy. Like Toonami promos again that's what I know him the most for, because obviously he is not, which I got confused with. He is not the Transformers show Optimus Prime. Like, he is specifically like the big movie one. Which means he's also.
Isn't he also in the show?
So the show that I saw that used to be on really early in the morning, it's just an old Transformers cartoon.
I thought he was full animated.
I think there's more than one Transformers show. So I just know the one that I watched.
He was Optimus Prime in the one that we watched as a kid was probably someone different. But yeah, no, he runs animated too. At least in modern animation.
Yeah, no. But a hell of a voice. Again, those Toonami promos were so fucking dope as a kid.
Hold on.
Is he all of them?
No. He's been Optimus Prime since the first Transformers movie. So 2007, he's done everything Optimus Prime. So video games, TV shows, movies.
Okay. So then that show
07.
I'm watching this in like elementary schools. This is like early 2000s, so like put it 01 to 03 because like I don't remember the actual years, but
yeah,
it would have been somebody else. But again, incredible voice. That's gonna be I don't know how many more Transformer movies they're gonna make, but that is a hard role to. How do you even tell somebody like, all right, cool, you are now the successor to Optimus? Even if you put out a dope Optimus voice, some roles are like we've talked about this before.
It's too
where
big.
It's why the Japanese cast for One Piece, like it's why she's the Luffy specifically. She's like, hey, like I know what this is gonna sound like if Luffy's voice changes. Like Frankie had his third voice change, and again, while I'm not tapped in with the anime, I saw the reaction. People are upset because Frankie sounds different again. And it's like, well, you know, when you've run for so long and, you know, some people pass and some people go to prison. So you get new voices. And so it's just such a hard role to follow.
Yeah. I know Star Wars kind of succumbs to that issue. I think almost to its detriment at this point. They tried doing a young Han Solo movie. I know you don't know who Han Solo is. We'll get you on Star Wars soon, Justin, since you're a movie guy now.
I have seen. I know the Hulk.
You know the Hulk.
Man.
He's not in Star Wars, but but yeah. So they tried doing like the young Han Solo movie with obviously not Harrison Ford, the guy that played Han Solo, because that guy is not even close to young.
Valid.
And people, you would have thought Disney walked into their house and like shot their child. Like, it was crazy. But like some of those reactions were crazy. And he did it. The guy that played them. That movie's good, by the way. I like Solo. You do need to do, like, as a standalone, I don't think it works. But like, if you like Star Wars movies and you want to watch a fun movie, Solo's great. But yeah, now what they do is they don't CGI somebody's face onto another actor if they need to, and I hate that. It sounds, you know what it sounds like? Really fucking expensive. in a world where movies are too expensive to make, or blockbusters cost too much, that sounds really expensive to try to hold on to continuity.
Yeah. It's, again, I kind of get it from just like the perspective again of like I would have had trouble. I don't know how many English like anime most of the time people finish, because despite our exact generation getting 3 of the longest running shows ever, for the most part an anime is somewhere between like usually around like 100 to 150 episodes on the long end. Like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece just skewed it to high hell.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I would have had issue if like if Kenshin or Yu Hakusho, or like if one of them, like a voice just changed in the middle of the series, like I was like, okay, that probably would fuck with me. I just don't have. I know for Fresh Prince, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Aunt Viv changed halfway through the series, and so, but that's an actor, you can see them. Again, that's I don't know what's a good example of that. Like a big actor. Did you say The Office changed the main guy?
Yeah, but not like the character himself. Like
he just
left. Yeah, so they brought in someone else. No, like for movie purposes. Sticking with movies, I think the one that didn't, the grade A example of this is the Hulk change. They recast Hulk, and then they recast Rhodey in Iron Man. Which you would know. That's not a spoiler, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's tracks. Okay.
Those work. I think those recast work. Where it doesn't work, there was a prequel movie series to Harry Potter called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And they introduced this character who's played by one big actor, and then it's revealed that this one big actor is the bad guy has cast a spell to make himself. I'm trying to explain this to someone who's never seen Harry Potter. I'm realizing.
I've seen like 20 minutes. I've seen the first movie because we went as a kid.
Sure.
And I've seen about, give or take, 20 to 30 minutes of when I got my second COVID shot, laying on my couch as my wife was binging them, and then I fell asleep.
So
and woke
yeah,
up.
you
I know.
Watched them. So to get back to it, this big actor, the villain of the movie has cast a spell to make himself look like this big actor, when in reality the villain is Johnny Depp. Does that mean anything to you? If I say the word name Johnny Depp, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, I know Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know Johnny Depp. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So Johnny Depp plays the villain, and he cast a spell to make himself look like another big actor. Well, what happens between so Johnny Depp is the main bad guy in the second one of these movies, but if you were keeping track of pop culture at the time, after that second movie, you would know that he and a woman named Amber Heard were in court.
I did. I was up to date on that because my wife was obsessed with that case.
A lot of people were. So Warner Brothers had to recast Johnny Depp. So in 3 movies, there are 3 characters playing this one villain, and they're all big name actors, and it doesn't fucking work at all. Recasting Johnny Depp doesn't fucking work at all. Because I know the spell of litigation is the reason why he doesn't look the way he's supposed to look in the 3rd movie. So, so yeah, that recast doesn't work. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see. We're gonna see it in the next few years also. Now that Disney, after they finish their Doomsday 2 movies with Avengers, the next arc is going to be focused on mutants. Does that mean anything to you, Justin?
I know the concept of.
If I say Wolverine, does that mean anything to you?
I know Wolverine.
All right, cool.
I know
cool,
the
cool,
things
cool.
that have escaped pop culture. Like I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, which is I've been playing Remake.
Okay.
7 is obviously a 30-year-old game at this point. And my uncle's like, "Do you know anything?" And I'm like, "I know the things that have escaped, like the game." Meaning, like I think Cloud and Sephiroth are such big characters. You don't have to be a Final Fantasy fan, like you know them. I'm aware the scene with Sephiroth's sword stabbing the bitch. I'm like, yeah, that was on the internet from day one. Like I've seen the things that have transcended because they are so popular. So yes, I'm aware of Wolverine. I'm aware of the X-Men.
So in the next few years, we're probably going to get a new Wolverine for the first time in ever. So that'll be a really interesting take to see how people take to that. Especially because you haven't gotten to this point in my list yet. Everything after Endgame is them trying to take all of these franchises, established Marvel properties, and funnel it into the MCU scope. And when we watch Endgame finally, Justin, I will give you the list to the second part. That is all lead up to Doomsday. I have a list for that, but you're not ready for it.
I'm not. And I will get back.
I think you're still in phase 1, right?
Correct. And I will be back on. I didn't get to do a lot this week. These last 2 weeks have been a lot of reintroducing new schedule again.
Yeah.
So, but we've got that pretty much down, and so I am hoping to restart my movie binge theoretically next Monday. So,
have you seen Captain Marvel yet, or nah? You've
No,
just seen
I
Hulk
literally
and the first 2
saw-
Iron Men?
Correct. So I literally watched Iron Man 1 and then 2 damn near back to back. Like I started
should.
1.
Those are back to back.
Yeah, but I had to pause 2, and then I got back to it the next day. And then Hulk, mainly because I feel like, and I think I put the memories together, sometime in high school, like those days where class, like your teacher doesn't really have anything for you to do, and they're like, hey, get caught up on some work, I'm going to put a movie on in the background, shut up and, be quiet.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I connected that memory. I don't remember the class, but we did watch the Hulk in class in high school. Like, it seemed... I could remember like certain scenes or moments, and I'm like, I feel like I have seen this before. There's a handful of, again, my movie catalog is still not very expansive, but there's a handful I know that I walked across and saw. Like, I hilariously always say, like, I know the 13 Ghosts, which is a really stupid, shitty movie, but my grandmother loved that really stupid, shitty movie, and she watched it every Halloween. She's like, it's 13 Ghosts. You just got to watch it. And I'm like, as a kid, I was scared of everything, so I was like, oh, this is terrifying. As an adult, when you can see the little dog, I'm pretty sure that they strapped a camera on and said, hey, run under the carpet, and it's like, oh, that's the monster in the house. It's like, okay, well, this movie is old, and I see how special effects worked in the 70s. But my grandma still watches TV Land, so special effects she doesn't give a fuck about. She just is watching the things she watched as a kid. So, I'll tell it to you.
So let me walk you through why I was like, oh, this is a good way to watch phase 1. So you start with Captain Marvel because it's a really good prologue to everything. For our people in our audience, I told Justin, if you watch it in this specific order, the MCU feels like an anime. And so for phase one, I was like, you want a really good prologue. I think it sets. I think when you start with Iron Man, because I think a lot of people start with Iron Man, rightfully so. It's like one of the best superhero movies ever made.
It's also very America
it feels
to start.
very it does feel a little. You can feel the datedness to it a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels very grounded. And I think where the MCU ends up going, you get kind of I find myself going to the movies and going, wow, we were just fighting terrorists in the desert like not that long ago, and now I have to deal with the quantum realm. What the hell is that?
Sounds very anime.
Yeah, right. So when you start with Captain Marvel, you get space right away. You get kind of like a space teaser. You're getting aliens. You're getting like superpowers. But you also get a young Nick Fury because the movie takes place in the 90s. And so that's why I'm like, oh, it's a different Shield than what Iron Man 2 presents itself as. It also introduces the Tesseract. Let's see, have you gotten to the Tesseract? No, you wouldn't know anything about that yet. But it sets up the Tesseract. Like, it's actually, there's a little Easter egg of it in Iron Man 2 where he's flipping through his dad's notebook and there's a cube in a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him, like, the assumption is Howard Stark studied the Tesseract to develop this new power, like this new energy source. And so it kind of like teases the Tesseract. It like introduces the Tesseract as a thing. It introduces Nick Fury as a character, and Nick Fury kind of becomes this main character for the first arc. We'll say like the first phase of the MCU. And then from there you do, and also Captain Marvel doesn't show back up until the end. So she like bookends the thing. I also think it's a really fun, the end credit scene with no context is a really fun teaser of what's to come. Which I'm like, pay attention to the end credits when you go through my list in my order, because the end credits that's the one piece, like, for context, and how I look at it, that is the one piece, one line means nothing to you now, but will mean something to you later. And so from there you do Iron Man, and then you do Iron Man 2, and then you do Thor, because you get Thor's hammer at the end of Iron Man 2, and also Coulson's talking about going to the desert, so that leads in really well. Then you do Hulk, then you do the Incredible Hulk, and then you do Captain America. After all of that, you do the Avengers, and that's the 6 movies I would watch in that order for phase 1, because it all kind of like builds into the Avengers very, very well. Like, Hulk talks about the super soldier program, and then you find out later that Captain America is part of what that super soldier serum or program was. You also find out that whatever the fuck they did to Abomination in The Incredible Hulk is an absolutely botched, failed version of what they do to Steve Rogers. So there's kind of like a nice through line going in that order. But at the end of the day, watch it however you want to watch it. Please. I just think if you've never seen it before, you go. It's a fun little line.
No, that's fair. Excuse me. Speaking of movies. Yes. I'm not live, so
I can't walk in.
Now, hey, what up? Cameo.
Love you, bye. What do you call it? Oh, speaking of movies, we got an insane announcement just casually on a Tuesday.
Fuck,
Morning.
you texted me movies in the chat, and I was like, oh, the Marvel stuff. So let's like talk about the Marvel stuff.
No,
I totally
but
fucking forgot. I forgot that One Piece announced a movie.
they announced 2 movies,
dude.
And one.
In case you didn't know, my house is hot.
Gosh damn it! One Piece announced 2 movies, and one of them we're gonna give Matt his credit. Matt has been on this, and I will also. I'm being fair here. I never thought this shit was gonna happen. And every episode, every time he's like, I think we're gonna do this movie. They're gonna do this movie. I'm just like, they don't really do that. One Piece has never committed to anything close to canon for movies. They are as One Piece movies historically are as far away from canon as you can possibly get. Like they are these wacky one-off things. Like, hey, what if Luffy did this? It's like Oda's like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, go for it, man.
With the exception of Strong World. That is not canon, but is as close as canon is to with the One Piece movies.
And this is also what I think is insane about this. This is a One Piece movie that realistic. Now, I think they'll cameo because I'm just sure they're going to do it. The Straw Hats have absolutely nothing to do with this movie.
If you go back to the episode where I'm like, we're reading God Valley in real time, and I go, if Toei has any fucking want for money, like, you know, they wake up in the morning, they go, I just want to make money. Like, you know, I don't know, I don't know if they want to, you know, you don't have to. But, like, hey, if anyone over there was like, let's make money, you would take Rock's story and the God Valley story and you make it a movie. And I think at the time I was like, and then you call it One Piece Rocks or something like that. Which they actually, if you watch the trailer, revealed it to be One Piece God Valley, which, you know what? I think is a better title. Let's be honest. But you make, and if you find that episode, you'll have me go, you do cameo the Straw Hats, and then you have the narrate, like they do something goofy, and then the narrator goes, anyway, let's talk about something else entirely.
No, I think they will slip in. They're just where I think and what I push back to the other episodes is I'm like, would you commit to a movie that doesn't have Luffy in it? And I said
100% because I think One Piece is strong enough without Luffy.
We both
if it's called God Valley and you're putting like I think we put a lot of stock in Luffy mainly because
he's the MC.
He's the MC, right?
Yeah.
But and like Dragon Ball Z was able to do it.
So that's someone brought that up, and I thought that was
which is fine. I think this is bigger than Dragon Ball Z. Like I think Piccolo's a cool character design. Is he orange worthy? Couldn't tell you. Have no context on Dragon Ball Z. I think there are more One Piece fans than Dragon Ball fans currently.
So I don't agree with that.
Let me preface that. I think there are more people that will want to see. I think there are more One Piece fans that would want to see a movie with Roger, Zebek, and like the whole, and Garp and the whole like God Valley incident than there are Dragon Ball fans that want to see a Piccolo-led movie.
So
does that make sense?
Now...
And this is from someone that doesn't like Dragon Ball Z, to be fair. So I might be talking out of my ass.
I don't have an official poster, right?
No.
For God Valley? Okay.
Did they they gave a date though, right? Is it next year?
Summer of 2027.
That's
I don't know if we got the
crazy.
exact date.
That's crazy because I don't think that's getting animated by 2027.
I have two things to that. So the superheroes poster does have Goku on it. So Dragon Ball still said, "Hey, like it's weird. It's not a great comparison, but like the red poster worked because it was Shanks, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, we finally like Luffy's on the red poster."
Yeah.
But he's the smaller character. We're like, "Holy fuck, we actually had something about Shanks," and we all got debated. Cool. Goku is on the super poster. Gohan and Piccolo, as far as popular, see, this is so tough. These are these are the two biggest IPs in the space, and so it's tough to be like one's got this many. I think Dragon Ball I assume, and Dragon Ball and Vegeta's on the poster. Dragon
Two
Ball
characters who are
unique.
not in this movie, by the way.
Correct. Well, they cameo at the end, and so that's what I'm like.
They cameoed in the beginning too, but like they kind of bookend the story, but which I think I think Luffy will do it in this one. And I'm looking at this IMDb, and you can tell people got debated. Usually these movies have better than a 7.
What, Super, or are we talking about
Superhero?
Super 7's probably accurate.
It got like a Rotten Tomato. People liked it. I think 7's pretty average actually now for a anime movie. I don't know. I feel like God Valley is just gonna print money. I don't think it's a risk at all. Genuinely.
So, what I think,
it just depends on how they approach it. Like, so if they approach it as Rox is the main character, that is a really cool movie.
So what I'm assuming, and I'm kind of taking this, but it makes the most sense to me, is that Toei is going to split this up even in the anime. So the anime will get the Herald backstory because that is really fucking long, and you can't shove all of Herald into this backstory with God Valley. Like, God Valley is going to be exactly what it is, which is the incident, right? And it's going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so Toei, the anime, will get like that really young Harold stuff, and then him becoming king, and up until you actually get to God Valley, which is also probably then where you can quote unquote like shove Luffy in, is because you could just start the movie off with them all talking to Loki, because that's how we got all of this stuff to begin with, is him going, "Hey, what happened?" And then that hilarious story of like, "Well, let me tell you, the day Dad died, I'm actually gonna go around the world before we get to it."
Yeah, I wonder if you make it, because I remember the backstory is Harold's perspective, or it's kind of like a mix, but it is mainly a Harold perspective because it's a backstory within a backstory.
Correct.
I wonder, because the Loki backstory is actually I know they inceptioned it.
It's 3 different backstories inside of one.
I wonder if adult Loki is even in it.
In God Valley?
I mean, like, I guess, yeah. No, he's a kid at that point.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that quick, how do we start the story? The gangster
I
way
don't
to
know.
start the story?
I don't think
the movie?
I don't think the movie will do that. I think the movie is gonna like have this, because all the movies aren't canon usually, right? So I could see them like in the new world on a boat going through somewhere, and the Straw Hats are goofing around on the boat, and Robin's reading a book. And they just get floated off somewhere, or they come across like a pirate or an old man who's like, "Oh, let me tell you the story of God Valley," or something, and like let me tell you the story of rocks. I don't know.
I think Luffy will get shoved in here as a cameo, but if we don't need the cameo, the best way to start this movie. So Strong World starts not with the Straw Hats. Strong World literally starts with Garp and Sengoku looking up and going, "Huh, there's about 100 flying ships. Isn't that neat?" You start this movie off.
They look up and they go, "Shiki's back, huh? Fuck, that's not good."
You start this movie, surround sound, black screen's just black. You pan out for about 5 seconds, and then you just hear the gunshot, and you start this movie in the flower room.
Hell yeah! I'm so down.
And then you narrate her as Rox is running away. Like Rox gets his line off Timu saying, "Oh, okay." I don't know because it's technically now. If they're splitting some of the backstory at the end of the movie, it's gonna be a little funny, but he gets his lines off. He has a quick little convo with Emu. You still keep Emu in silhouette, even though Rox technically would know what he looks like. Cool. Rox, as he's running toward Harold, that's when you get the narrator to kind of fill in the whatever the hell I forget the line now, but like when they goes off like why Rox was a menace, it's like he split the gates of justice, he killed an admiral, he did you have them narrate that, and then you get that clash with Harold, and then we get Rox as he is attempting to get his crew together. That could be the first part of the movie, him getting Whitebeard, Big Mom, etc. And then I'm assuming this is going to be my headcanon, this is an hour and 45 minutes. And so if you get about a good 30 minutes of setup between getting the crew, establishing who Rox is, then you at the 30-minute mark, because you got to put in Roger, give Roger a little bit of love. It's like, hey, well, no, Shaggy, actually. Shaggy's the second most important character in this story.
Yes, dude.
Then at about the 30-minute mark, you got to do Rox, Shaggy, Garland / Celestial Dragons.
I'm like, I'm with you. Hour 45 to 2, and
Feels
I'm like, I don't know how you do this in a tight 90. I think you have fun with it and you do it in like hour 45. I think you could make it. I think you could make a really good hour 45 too. But
even
you elongate a little here, elongate a little there. By this point in 27 also, I mean, I doubt we're going back to God Valley.
No,
like what else do we need to know about God Valley, right? We got most of the incident. I think you could work in some of Kuma's backstory too. Cuz
I thought Kuma's backstory's already all been animated. Am I tripping?
No, yeah, it has. But you can work in, because Kuma's part of it too, right? So you have, like, there are so many different facets that we know tie into God Valley. So I'm like, have fun with it, you know? I think it would be interesting to have the dynamic be Rox and Harold for the focus of the movie.
I like that a lot. I'm okay with Luffy and the Straw Hats not being in this, by the way. I just don't know. Because even the end of the movie, I would be totally cool with if the end of the movie is... Dude, that's so fucking sick. You give like 5 minutes to a crazy-ass fight between Roger, Garp, and Rox. Because that has to be... Ever since that line was dropped, that became one of the most anticipated fights. And again, for a story that we don't go crazy over fights, that was immediately one of the most anticipated fights ever. Like, you give them, let them go crazy, like hockey explosion, blah, blah, do whatever they do, and then you get Rox on the ground, and then Garling, Summers, and don't quote me if I'm misremembering this, but whatever's the third Holy Knight, I don't know if it's one we already know yet or not, I forget, but walking over to go kill Rox. And, like, that's the ending of the movie.
You know where
black there.
But you know where I think like the movie ends? I think you can do a lot of fun things with the fallout of it, right? Because I think you're right. You do have to tie it all back to Luffy, or I think Luffy has to cameo, and so you loop. Maybe you don't start with the Straw Hats. I kind of like the way you start it. But you go through this whole movie, and then you start talking about like the fallout of God Valley, and then so you have Kaido and Big Mom and Whitebeard amassing power in these directions and stuff, and you have the remnants of the rock pirates like getting taken out. Like that would be actually kind of fun to expand on. What happened to Shiki? I mean, we know what happened to Shiki, right? But like show us, maybe you could even like take clips from episode 0 where Shiki and Roger are like doing their battle at Edward, you know, like show a Navy soldier like hunting down someone from these pirates or from this crew. And then
Blackbeard also could get a cameo.
Blackbeard could get a cameo, right? Blackbeard joining Whitebeard's crew, right? Because now we're accelerating into the present, and then the last shot is Luffy like waking up on the deck of the Sunny or something. With
modern day Blackbeard gets a cameo, I realize, because Kid Blackbeard will by definition be in God Valley. Because we literally have to watch.
Yeah, no, totally. But we do know through Odin's backstory that he was like 12 when he joined Whitebeard's crew. Yeah. Maybe around 12. So he was like a little kid. So show us, maybe we don't see what happened to Blackbeard's mom per se, but we know there are a bunch of little flashbacks that we've seen that have direct like ties to the events of God Valley. So you can show us Kuma taking care of the refugees on his island. You can show Harold crying about his friend. You can show Eva doing things. You can show like the revolutionaries maybe meeting each other at some point.
Dragon's gonna do the most in this movie that we've ever seen him do.
I mean, you can even if they want to be do interesting things with it, because you know young Robin once again, and Clover, and like the fallout of the O'Hara incident, right? Like everything kind of stems off of God Valley as you accelerate more into the present where the Straw Hat Pirates are. Like that would be I think that feels more like a One Piece ending than a cut to black. But I think I like that over maybe. I mean, you could start with the Straw Hats doing things, and it's like they can do a fun bookend. But I think ending with coming back to the present would be really cool.
Come back to the present, and it's probably got to even like include Sengoku. So, because like Sengoku's the reason we know like modern day knows about God Valley, because what makes God Valley tricky to like incorporate the modern characters is like everybody that was there is either at this point in time now everybody's dead, because Big Mom and Kaido would have been survivors, but they're essentially dead at this point in the story now. Everybody's either dead or not willing to talk about it, because it's pretty much just the high-end Marines are the only ones, and the Celestial Dragons, who really know like, hey, what went down. Mm-hmm. But if you go through everything, and then again you take us back to like that room of Sengoku when he's telling them all, and then like he can walk out, and him even just thinking about, okay, this is what happened with Rocks, and this is what happened with Roger, and then him thinking about Blackbeard's out there, which is obviously like the Rocks comparison, and Luffy's out there, which is the Roger comparison, and because I just don't, it's like you have to kind of like force them in, which is why again I would be okay with them not showing up, because this isn't their story.
It's not their story, but I think establishing it as a God Valley, reading God Valley was such a crazy catalyst for the One Piece story, and you have the ability to, like, at the end of the day, like, this isn't Rox's story, it's not Roger's story, it's Luffy's. And I think if you really want to kind of, I think accelerating it back into the present, like, I don't know if you show Blackbeard as an adult. Maybe you do. But the only reason I have reservations about that is because of, we don't know. I mean, I think a current Blackbeard, I don't know if I want to see New World Blackbeard, but I don't mind seeing, you know, young Teach joins the crew, like child Teach joins the crew, and then it flashes forward to adult Teach killing Ace, or effectively defeating Ace and like killing Thatch, and like showing us that. I think you framing God Valley as as an inciting incident for the entirety of One Piece would be a really interesting way to frame that movie. Hey, the events of this war are how we got here.
And it's very on brand for One Piece because it's essentially the same shit that we're gonna have to do with like the Void Century, because it's all these events that no one's allowed to remember because they've all been taken out due to history. So it's like, this is our closest.
Yeah.
This is our closest to like seeing how that shit all would have gone down. And it's like the Void Century could be full of theoretically multiple God Valleys that eventually shaped the way the world went.
Well, I think it's cool too, because if this movie does well, this is a really fun way to highlight moments in One Piece that just can't, there's just no time to do things, right? So you could do, like, if God Valley does very well, right? What's to stop them from doing a One Piece Into the Void or Void Century, right?
That's probably too long.
But we don't know, right? What's to stop them from doing, here's a fun one, if they really wanted to get like creative with it, what's to stop them from doing One Piece Rocky Port, and then make it a heist?
Rocky Port would be fun,
right? Make it a heist movie.
Rocky Port would be fun as
shit. You make Kobe the main character, and it's his journey in Sword and how he's like kind of making a name for himself. He comes across Law, and then they have to make it's an unlikely trio, right? You have Law, Kobe, and then Blackbeard, and we all know about Blackbeard, and so you're like, oh, these three have to team up to fight this member of the Rocks Pirates. And so what does this look like, right? Like, that could be a really fun like story that they could tackle in movie format. You could do this is a fun one. I mean, you could do a Aokiji Akainu movie. You know,
love that.
One Piece Magma and Ice, and it's the story of how like these two friends met in the Navy, and then they like went up through the ranks together, and we learn about like Akainu's justice and Aokiji's justice, and you know, ends with this culmination, this giant battle on Punk Hazard.
So I don't
like,
from a financial thing. So some of these, some of these I would love if they turn into specials, because I don't think everything's gonna get a theatrical release. I do think Rocky Port and Lost specifically, and I'm glad you brought them up, we do need a story for Bad. And Bad has nothing, we don't know shit about it. They're just like, hey, here's this other movie too, dropping in 2029. And it's like, there's obviously like God Valley is just, oh, it's God Valley. It's like we got the little quick trailer. And we just know, even if they didn't drop a trailer, if they just said, if it was a newspaper article and it said One Piece movie God Valley dropping in 2027, we would already instinctively know, like, okay, cool, it's going to be about God Valley, or they are just tricking us for the second time in a row and we're all going to hate One Piece movies forever. Bad is fair game for almost anybody.
But we don't know where the story's going to be in 2029 either. I don't think we're in Elbaf in 2029, by the way.
In the manga or in the anime?
In the manga, I don't think we're in Elbaf.
No, I think we're gone from Elbaf by then.
You know, like, I don't know where the story of One Piece is
3 years?
by, yeah. You know what I mean? And this is my thing with the God Valley movie, too. It says summer of 2027. Right? Do I think the anime is going to be will have done all of Harold's backstory by the summer of next year? When I think they're supposed to take a hiatus?
So currently, where's the anime right now? I know they were talking to Loki right now.
I think the kids just got possessed, I think. Or the kids are being marched off.
One Piece episode 1176. Yes, there's as many episodes as chapters. Great sign. No, I'm sorry. We're ahead by like 2 chapters. You know, it's not as awful as it sounds. 1176. What happened? The Threat of the Arrow Fruit, Gunko versus Straw Hats. Released on... Oh, sorry. That is going out on August 30th. So this is the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So the Holy Knights are here. So what do we still have left that technically we'd have before we get to the flashback? Holy Knights trying to take the kids. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, not Garling. Why am I blanking? Scopper's already been shown in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they might not be. Now, they're historically slow, so I don't want to say this with a ton of confidence. But they're probably not that far off from... Harold's backstory is long as fuck, though. That's the other problem.
That's my thing, too. And they're only doing 26 episodes a year.
Are they on every other week release schedule now? Oh, because they're seasonal.
Yeah, because they're seasonal, right? That's why I was like, oh, like, if they're actually only releasing it... If they're only releasing, like, 26 episodes every 6 months or whatever, 6 to 8 months, then there's no way we get all of Harold's back. Like, I thought they were gonna stop right before. I thought they would go on hiatus again right before Harold. Right before Loki starts talking about his dad. And then they would jump back in for that backstory.
This would give them what? Potentially... I guess how many episodes are supposed to be in this season?
I'm just curious to see if the movie... Because... I'm just curious to see if the movie is gonna release in tandem with the anime doing the episodes.
So, this is gonna go all the way through... So it's just 26 split into blocks. But only a handful of episodes left for this year. Next block won't show until... It's so odd. Yeah, there's only 8 episodes left to remain, including this one that's dropping on Sunday. So we got 7 episodes to... What my brain's trying to remember, and I'm just not trying to sound stupid, is like, what else? Because I'm not trying to group it like so small. Like, okay, we got to kidnap the kids, right? Like, that has to happen before we get to Harold's backstory. We have to... have Robin and Saul even met in the anime? Or reconnected?
Yeah.
That's happened?
Yeah.
Okay. I might need to watch that scene. That's a great
It's on
panel.
it's on YouTube. Yeah, you can find it.
Bet I'm gonna watch that scene after the episode. Okay, so that's already done. So we've already done the library. So the library is full. Like we know about that. Then the Holy Knights. Shamrock's already gone. Gunko's attacking. We still need like our first emu scare. Because I think he pops up before the backstory, right?
Yeah.
Is it just kidnapping the kids? I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, I know kidnapping the kids isn't linear, but like that's our last major event before we get.
Well, you get the bad dreams start attacking.
Okay, yes.
So what they're on next week is episode 21
This season.
of this season. So that would mean there's 5 episodes left? 6 episodes left?
6 including this.
So they just did episode 20, and then that would mean there's 6 more episodes. The threat of the arrow fruit, Gunko versus the Straw Hats is the next thing.
Which I'm curious what they're even calling that, because like that's not. I don't consider that like a fight. It's just more of a. Well, this bitch throws arrows. Like it's not a. Again, I can't speak for what the anime is going to do. I'm curious. I would.
Well, you know what else too? Robin fights Summers, also.
That does happen. Which
is baller. I love that moment. I know it doesn't work out for her, but like her going like, I'm gonna make a clone and throw you off a tree, like tackle you and like throw you off a tree. I was like, that's just baller.
What I almost, man, am I gonna put myself through this?
I'm not watching the anime.
And so I'm like, but I'm almost curious. I'm like, do I watch an episode just because my brain is?
It's bait, bro. Don't do it. You're gonna be
I will
like,
watch all. No, I will not watch. I will not watch all of these. I promise you. I will not watch all of these. I don't have it in me to do that. But just for even like conversations, because my brain is pilled on just. It's so horribly paced that if we have, and we don't have a ton of anime conversations, I understand that. But I'm like, to even just have the understanding of like, okay, specifically with this movie, I'm like, where could they possibly be at? Like, are these episodes post going to seasonal, are they that much better? I don't know. Like, I've seen the Scopper clip, and like Scopper was cool, but that doesn't really tell me anything. The clips were fine, even when they were horribly paced. Like, they got those moments correct, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like,
I think they're still doing chapter per episode. Like that hasn't changed. I think they're just focusing. I honestly think they're just slowing down for the manga. And like, yeah, you're right. Quality is in there, and if they want to like, maybe like foreshadow something a little bit better, now that they have a little bit more time. I think it's also a quality of life thing for the animators too. Which I'm still like 26 episode seasons is still quite a bit of episodes.
Yeah,
on a yearly pace, but if you're slowing yourself down like that,
better than 52 or whatever the fuck they were at.
Yeah, well, they were doing one a week, right?
Well, they have. Because
they were doing
some breaks, right? Like they do take the fucking like the New Year off, or don't they get some breaks?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do. I still think they were putting out like 50 episodes a year.
That's insane.
They must have honestly. No, you know what they were doing? They were putting out. You can actually math it, right? So because the anime is exactly 1 year behind the manga, and if the manga puts out 33 chapters a year, then the anime was putting out like 33 to 34 episodes a year. You can do the math. Yeah, if they're doing the chapter an episode.
Problem with that though is, yes, that works for like the total episode count, but that doesn't factor in like when Oda took, and he hasn't done it. He didn't do it this year, but the last 2 years because of his health and his eyes, he took just a month off. And so we just
Yeah.
the anime
Oh,
still
no,
was cranked
totally.
out 4 episodes. So
That's why I'm like, oh, I think the anime going down to 26 episodes a year, only putting out like, you know, a chapter an episode still. It gives space for Oda to go recover. It gives space for the manga to get a little bit farther ahead than normal, and it gives space for the animators to actually not get rushed. I'd be intrigued to see. I would be intrigued to watch some episodes of Elbaf just to see what the backgrounds look like. Because
that's what I'm saying.
I'm like, if you have people like moving around and stuff, then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it was also an animation quality of life thing too. If we're still getting stills though, I think we're doing the former of what I was saying, where the focus is more on, hey, if we put out 26 episodes a year, when we know we're getting at least 30 to 33 chapters a year, there's enough space for us to move. We can keep this kind of year thing going.
Do we, before we close out the movie convo, you would know this better because you just have watched obviously considerably a lot more movies than I have. We always say, like, if you just animated One Piece 1-for-1, like, it couldn't fail, right? Like, the OG content or the source material is too good. For God Valley, obviously we don't know what it's about yet, but for God Valley, which we all agree, like, source material is incredible, is there still a chance you can fuck this movie up?
I think if you are too rigid with the source material, then yeah.
Explain.
If you only focus on... Okay, so when we were reading it, right? And the same goes for, like, the Paramount War also, which we both agree is really good in the anime. I think it's a really good arc in the anime. Mm-hmm. It's so fast-paced in the manga. And God Valley, as cool as it was to read, there are moments where you're like, oh, we are just kind of skipping to the action, which is fine. But for a movie where you now have time to put this together, right? God Valley came out. The manga chapters came out last year, I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
About last year.
Last year.
My guess is okay, and then I think the plan was always to make the God Valley incident a movie. Because I'm sure somebody at Toei woke up one day and went, I want to make money. And I can see that Dragon Ball made money. I can see that Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 0 made money. I can see that Demon Slayer, every Demon Slayer movie slings cash to the bank. So I'm like, oh, God Valley is a perfect movie for One Piece to make. And we don't have to, like, beat our animators to come up with an idea that Oda's okay with. So
91.
Why not?
Definitively last year.
I think you take your time in the little moments and expand on, hey, you know what? Dragon is on this island, and he's wandering around the island, and he stumbles across, and he's having his whole story going on this island. And then he stumbles across Blackbeard's mom. No, he stumbles across Shanks's mom. And that's how he knows to steal the twins. Yeah. Or one of the twins.
She'll die on the big screen.
She'll die on the big screen.
Most One Piece moms don't get that. They just gotta die in a random chapter.
Yeah, I also think take your time expanding on the players of God Valley. So we got a chapter years ago where or during Kuma's backstory where they were like, we got our first tease of it, and the tease was the Roger Pirates showed up, the Holy Knights showed up, and the Rocks Pirates showed up. So I think like highlighting that Garling is a player in this movie, Garp is a player in this movie, Roger is a player in this movie, Rocks is probably the main character of this movie. You know, Dragon being a Navy soldier. Highlight him being a Navy soldier, right? Maybe he doesn't have to like run around, but he's a new recruit, right? So like show him on a ship doing something because he actually plays a role at God Valley. So highlight these little moments that were one panel, right? Take your time with it in the movie. Make it maybe like a minute and a half to 2 minutes in the movie of them doing something, and like take your time with the scenes. And that's how you get to an hour 45 and 2 hours, and make it tight where it needs to be tight, but like expand the God Valley incident, you know?
No, it's
like crazy shit is happening at this thing, and we have to get to God Valley. But when we get there, stay there. Right?
But yeah, don't take me back and forth. Like once I'm like fully immersed.
I mean, don't take me there and let God Valley be like 20 minutes. Yeah, like let God Valley be long.
No, I agree. If it's if I think I said earlier, I'm like if it's an hour 45, like you get your 30 minutes to set up like your main, like you said, your main people that are going to be involved, and by by minute 40, 45, like we should be in there and ready to, and make it feel.
But like, it doesn't need to be rigid. I'm like, get us to God Valley, but let us spend time in God Valley. If we're there for, you know, like if the midpoint of the movie is the God Valley incident, and it's an hour 45, or it's a 2-hour movie, so have an hour of setup be a thing, right? And then give us a solid 45 minutes in God Valley, or solid 45 to 50 minutes. Like, but like make it move, right? We don't want it to like get there, but we want it to feel like a movie.
You got to show us the human hunt.
Show us the human hunt, right? Show us the nobles being really bad, and like all the stuff with Kuma, right? Kuma is source material for this movie. It's cool, right? Like there are so many moments in One Piece where they talk about God Valley, and like you take these pieces and you pull them together. And it would be really cool if they started doing this for more moments.
So now the actual last question. Holy shit. So the top 2 are Demon Slayer. Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. Well, the Demon Slayer movie, that part 1 is like 2.5 hours long. That part 1 of 3, by the way.
So the highest grossing anime films of all time. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle 2025, $555 million.
I saw it.
Demon Slayer Mugen Train 2020, $512 million.
Saw that too.
Before that, Your Name, which is I'm not really familiar with it. Apologize. Sure, it was great.
I think I wanted to see it.
But these are so groundbreaking because guess what the highest grossing anime film was for literally 20 years?
A Ghibli movie.
Yes, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
And that was the anime movie. Like it was like, my hot take, I've said this since day one. I don't like Studio Ghibli movies. I love anime. I don't like Ghibli
That's
movies.
too bad. Because those movies are beautiful, by the way.
I won't dispute that, or like I don't even have like rationale where people I'm like, oh, this is a bad thing. I don't fuck Ghibli movies, but obviously that was the standard forever, and now Demon Slayer's passed it. One Piece. Now, if it means anything, Dragon Ball has launched 2 movies in this, including Battle of the Gods, which was the first Dragon Ball content in 20 years, did not get these numbers. We just said One Piece is, if it's either 1A, 1B, the biggest IP in the space, sharing with Dragon Ball. If this is our true first canon movie, will this outsell Demon Slayer?
No.
Damn.
I think it could outsell Mugen Train. I don't think it outsells Infinity Castle. Infinity Castle is part 1 of the ending of Demon Slayer. And it's not getting adapted into the anime. It is
okay.
So
would that change your mind if Rocks never gets if Toei says the anime has the Herald flashback, but God Valley is only a movie, would that change your mind? Meaning this never comes to episodes. This is strictly content?
This would rival Infinity Castle.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the case. I think this movie will make 600.
Well, that would top Infinity Castle. At least of what I'm saying.
No.
Infinity Castle got a 555.
I've got 800 mil.
Holy shit.
I think God Valley will be one of the highest grossing anime movies of all time.
I agree. Dog, Film Red is the 8th highest grossing anime movie of all time.
Yeah. And that's just with and then people got baited into seeing a musical, and that's why they didn't watch it again. I think this breaks top 5.
I think this,
but I'm optimistically saying it's top 5 highest grossing anime movie of all time, if they do it right.
For again, as someone who's new to this, and again, I don't even know when the next one will go to a theater is. For these movies that are like the highest grossing ever, I'm assuming that comes with multiple trips to a theater. Like, it's not just a crazy opening weekend. It is usually like crazy opening weekend plus people are going back to go see it a second time.
It's that, and it's also international release, right? So we're technically an international release for One Piece.
Well, yeah, because this is going to come out. Japan and France get it like a couple months earlier than us.
Do they really?
So they didn't officially say that, but they've gotten everything else like 2 or 3 months before us.
My guess is it'll get released all at once. Maybe their dub comes out later. I also think Infinity Castle got re-released in theaters too, which I could be wrong about that. No, it's on Crunchyroll now. It didn't get re-released. No, yeah, France is gonna be huge, but you're still kind of China release for American-made movies. Your movie can completely flop in the States and then be a complete success because it was big in China. So China is like the second highest grossing movie market in the world. I know Marvel has done this quite a bit where they were like, well, this movie wasn't really well received here, but it was really well received in China. So I is one of the reasons why I think Shang-Chi got made. You haven't made it there yet. Don't worry. I've slotted him into phase 5 for you, baby. Yeah. Don't worry about Shang-Chi just yet. You haven't even done phase 1. I've got a bloated phase 5 that you have to slog through at some point. I think unironically this is God Valley breaks top 5 for highest grossing anime movie of all time.
doing this for the clip.
Yeah, do it for the clip.
One Piece God Valley will be by far and away the highest grossing anime film of all time. I think it is going to separate itself where, like, some list where you're like, there's a 1 and a 2, but 1 is like, it's like the highest selling books of all time, and it's like, well, number 1's the Bible, and then there's like a gap, and it's like, well, these things aren't like the others, so I think it won't outsell the Bible, but it is going to be, especially outside of the clip, especially if they nail the trailers. Like, if the trailer shows us, hey, we're not bullshitting, and we're probably going to get 2 trailers for this by the time it comes out, maybe a third.
Yeah.
If the trailers are like, yo, like, we're not on bullshit, like, we're getting you, like, high quality, like, from the source material, I'm like, that's going to be huge for this movie. Because then it's like, oh, we're going to get by far and away the best One Piece experience in theaters maybe ever.
Yeah. I'm in the mindset that if God Valley grosses more than Infinity Castle Part 1, we will be seeing many more One Piece movies like this. Where it's no longer like, hey, it's a non-canon thing, but like we're pulling from the source material and expanding on things that just can't be expanded on in manga format. Because it takes us away from takes us away from the pacing of the story.
No, 100%. It's gonna be crazy. Like, I'm super fucking excited for it.
It's so interesting. I'm very excited for God Valley.
I'm hyped for Bad too, even if I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know shit about Bad. I don't know where we could maybe it's something with the Straw Hats on Pirate Island, like fucking around. I don't know. Like, who knows what it could be.
Bad might legitimately have 2 scripts, like to what you just said. Bad might have the, okay, God Valley did really well, we have to do this again script, and it might have the, God Valley didn't do as well as we thought, so back to bullshit. Like,
it would be so. If it was Rocky Port, oh my god, that'd
be sick as fuck.
I think framing Rocky Port like a heist movie would be so fun. You don't understand. And when you, I'll
That's
recommend.
Not How You See Me.
No, I'll tell you off pod. I'll give you a good rec for a heist movie.
What is it? I don't have I got about 10 more minutes here, so I don't have time to go super hardcore into the chapter. I did want to ask.
I kind of got to bounce, but
if you got to bounce,
I think I was gonna say this is a great place to chill.
Yeah, in One Piece movies, we'll be back next week for 1192 in Emu. Shout out to whatever's happening there. Shout out to Totally Not Mark. I like you, Totally Not Mark. We will get to you one day. I think your Avatar opinions are wild, but I like you, and I do think
he just released. I thought he put everything in that 140-minute video, but I guess that's just season 1.
That's just season 1, because in season 2
dropped. He just put out. He just put out season 2. I did not have time to watch a 45-minute video.
I don't blame you. I was most heartbroken because, again, I'm Amon's #1 supporter. And so for someone to crap a season with him, I'm just like, man, you just don't get it. He's just so cool. And then his brother fucking goes. The season 2 video is hilarious as a closing out quote. He's like, he bought an Amon mask because he thought that Amon was going to be a long series villain. And technically at the time, season 2 didn't get greenlit for Korra immediately, Amon might have been a multi-season villain. But then he's like, the end of season 1, he's like, and Amon is no longer here. And it's like, sometimes that's how you got to take your characters out. Your brothers just got to, electrocute you both.
You just do it up. Yeah, intrigued to see if if Seven Havens does one story arc for its whole seasons, or if they do a story arc a season, like with Korra. Anyway, different conversation.
Different convo. We got to bounce. Appreciate everybody as always. Don't forget you can find us YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We have more clips for A&M, so you can yell at us about that. Yell at Matt. Y'all are yelling at me and Tony. Yell at Matt. That's my stance.
Yeah, man. I'll shit on Kansas City. That's fine.
Hey, man, we'll see y'all next week. We out.
All right, peace out, dudes.